This isn't the Fortnite I fell in love with. For a long time, I held onto this hope that Fortnite would return to its roots with better storytelling and incorporate meaningful map changes that would build up to consistent live seasonal events. Instead, Epic has bombarded us with new mode after new mode that within a short time span started to feel more like gimmicks than games for a lot of people. Despite of all this, I was still optimistic that at some point Epic would see their mistake and return to their roots, and this was originally going to be the intention of today's video. I wanted to let Epic Games know how much the core of Fortnite mattered to us, the fans, and why finding it in Fortnite was such a mistake. But after seeing Donald Mustard's most recent interview, I've realized that I've come to a drastic error, and I, most importantly, was wrong. I think the most recent interview from Donald Mustard did a lot of things for the Fortnite community. Number one, it confirmed a lot of things that we already knew. Number two, it gave us a better understanding of Donald Mustard and his vision for Fortnite. Three, it gave us a clearer picture as to what's most important to Epic Games. But four, and most importantly, it gave us closure. These are sobering details for anyone thinking about their investment in playing Fortnite. But before we deep dive into any of that, we need to finish off my thoughts from the last video and talk about why Find It in Fortnite failed. First off, what do I mean by failure? The three new modes given to us at the start of Fortnite Chapter 5 were clearly marketed to be equal with BR, but when you play them, they feel far from it. Let me ask you, do you feel like any of the new Fortnite modes come close to BR in terms of depth or replayability? The closest is LEGO, but even that feels like a less thought out version of Minecraft, which is what it's intended to compete with. What's worse is that it's obvious that none of the new modes are living up to Epic's expectations. For the amount of time and money they put into each one of these new games, it seems like they have underwhelming support from the community. 2/3 of the new modes don't even compete with some of the most successful creative maps. And on some days, the best creative map will have more plays than all three modes combined. I think the most tragic thing about all of this is that the new modes aren't even bad. I've stated before that I'm not mad that we have them. They keep more players on Fortnite for longer, but the community just doesn't resonate with them in the way that Epic had hoped. I think out of the three, LEGO has the most potential. Festival is your average rhythm game, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's pretty solid. But Rocket Racing just doesn't have the depth to its play pattern that fans of racing games come to expect.
Bro, are you kidding me? I went up nothing from that. But Rocket Racing's so bugged. I'm so done with Rocket Racing.
As of right now, they just feel like extended LTMs that aren't resonating with the player base, but I don't think that's completely the fault of these modes. Look at Save the World. This is what Fortnite was originally supposed to be, and it can't compete with Battle Royale. Nothing that Fortnite has ever produced has lived up to the success of BR, which is what the vast majority of you watching come to Fortnite for. This is why in the last video I said BR needs to remain the focus and its core identity needs to be felt all throughout Fortnite's current experience. Fortnite the BR needs to be your 0 point, your centerpiece that everything else flows through. It appears that Donald Mustard may have also had a similar vision in mind, but Epic Games didn't. The Donald Mustard interview is probably the biggest nail in the coffin for the Fortnite community. It shatters any previous hopes about a return to Donald's storyline, but also exposes one of my biggest errors in judgment. By mid-2022, Epic was committing to build LEGO Fortnite and Fortnite Racing, the new expansion of Fortnite into a proper multi-game metaverse that would go live in December 2023. To build all this stuff, it takes so many people and so much time, Mustard says. Basically, the event team was starting to be needed to work on other stuff, and it was devastating to me because I'm like, this is actually the magic. And not everyone at Epic agrees with that. This paragraph solidified my understanding of Epic's vision for Fortnite. The BR will not be a priority moving forward. They are invested in bringing in as many IPs and experiences as possible, and most importantly, the new modes do take away from the experience of BR, something I had said the opposite of many times in previous videos. Now, does this mean that BR can't be fun and innovative in different ways? No. But the BR that we experienced for the first 3.5 chapters of Fortnite is long gone. Fortnite Battle Royale will eventually become one minor piece in the greater metaverse, and all these changes that we've seen over the last 6 months, from UI to cosmetics, is in service of their partnership with other companies to promote this amalgamation of concepts. Now, what's crazy is I don't think Donald Mustard was completely opposed to this idea. My boy Mr. JLY made a fantastic video covering an old interview that Donald Mustard had during his prime years at Epic Games. In it, he talked about a lot of ideas which sounded very similar to the metaverse that we're currently seeing in Fortnite. After you finish this video and subscribe to the channel, you should definitely check out Jay. He is a wealth of knowledge and provides a really interesting perspective with a lot of different aspects of Fortnite. Now, after understanding Donald Mustard's perspective on the metaverse, I think there's something very important that we all need to understand here. Even though Donald was in favor of the metaverse, he didn't want it at the expense of his story. I've heard multiple positions from different content creators over the last few days on this topic. One in particular is from another good friend of the channel, Clint, who did a deep dive not only on his own perspective, but into the perspectives of other creators. The position that Clint had in his video, and was also echoed by a lot of other creators, is that Donald was just ready to leave, not necessarily because of the metaverse, but because he wanted to move on with other projects. That is true, however, I don't want to downplay how the lack of live events changed Donald's mood and perspective on the game. Remember, in the interview he says this: "It was devastating to me because this is actually the magic, and not everyone at Epic agrees with that." Mustard also began itching to work on new projects and decided to accelerate Fortnite's story. He crammed in some high points. "I threw myself a fireworks show. I got Darth Vader in, I got Indiana Jones in. I've got to make sure I've got all the stuff in that I needed for me. That's why the season is called Vibin'. It's all just like hanging out. Just a celebration." In Donald Mustard's own words, he was devastated by the shift in focus from Epic Games, moving away from live events, and quite frankly, we all were too. This was the true turning point in Mustard's career at Epic. Did he have other aspirations to pursue other projects in media? Yes, but that only became a priority after his team for live events was taken from him. Why else would he begin to accelerate Fortnite's story? The question I asked on stream a few days ago was, do you think Donald Mustard would have left Epic Games as soon if he had been able to see his story through the way he wanted to tell it? If we're being honest with ourselves and basing our evidence off of Donald's own words, the answer is no. But that also doesn't mean that he hated the idea of the metaverse. The problem was Tim Sweeney and Donald Mustard had a difference in the vision for the execution of it. In 2023, Mustard decided to leave Epic. He was working on a secret new project about which he'll only say it wasn't a game. It started to be out of alignment with all the stuff Epic should be focusing on, he says. Mustard told Epic CEO Tim Sweeney he was leaving. "Tim and I talked for a long time," he says. Sweeney floated other roles at the company, including directing a big Disney project, Mustard recalls. "That was actually a really clarifying thing," he says. "He wanted to pursue his own thing. Now that I look at it, I just keep trying to be on the edge, and I think there's one last edge I've got to try." Mustard now considers himself retired from games. He says he didn't have his next role in mind when he left. But by the end of 2023, the Russo brothers came calling and asked if he'd partner with them at their production company, AGBO. What I think is amazing is that Tim Sweeney fought to keep Donald. That right there shows his value that he brought not only to Fortnite, but to Epic Games. We weren't the only ones who lost out after Donald left. Tim Sweeney is a great businessman and a visionary, something that he shares with Donald Mustard, but where they differ is storytelling. Tim, as far as I know, is not a writer. I'm not sure he understands the value in good storytelling, however, Donald did. I think for myself as a writer, what's most frustrating about this to me is that I know how valuable good writing can be in terms of making money for a franchise, and why a lot of people are really frustrated with Fortnite. Although I don't have a problem with collabs, I do see the weakness in relying on them. I feel like Fortnite had some really good characters that it could have propped up as pop culture icons of gaming. Characters that could have been up there with Samus, Mario, if they just had have given them more time, love, and attention. The issue is that got replaced for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, Dragon Ball Z, and all these other awesome collabs that we have in Fortnite. I like the collabs, but I also like it when you tell a good story with the characters that you invented. And even for the people that aren't invested in the storyline, they still see the value in Fortnite's iconic characters. I think if Donald were still at Epic Games, he would have continued with his story, but used it as a tool to explain the metaverse. This would have solved the problem that the community is currently having with the Find It in Fortnite model and the looming metaverse. It's currently being propped up not just as something equal to BR, but the next big thing. Sweeney wants Fortnite to be more than just a BR, and in some ways, I think he's right. I don't agree with the execution, but the idea that Fortnite needs to evolve beyond a Battle Royale is probably good for the longevity of the game. One thing I realized while pondering about this for the last few days is that this is not the first time Fortnite has gone through this change. Fortnite was originally designed to be a sandbox tower defense game with open world exploration elements. Within months of its initial launch, it became a BR. Now, if you had signed up for the original Save the World experience, but then suddenly saw Fortnite switch gears and put more effort into BR, you probably would have felt that Fortnite lost its identity. I think I remember seeing some YouTube comments on videos years ago from Save the World players upset that Fortnite was going the BR route like every other game. This isn't what Fortnite was supposed to be. This is just a gimmicky new mode based on trends. They took resources from Save the World to support BR. Epic Games just wants to make money. Sound familiar? Now, Fortnite is pushing this metaverse idea. This is what we came to Fortnite for. Fortnite's true identity is BR. Epic Games is just a greedy billion-dollar company that makes money, and now it's our turn. Listen, it's okay to feel hurt, shocked, or even confused by this sudden change. We all had some sort of knee-jerk reaction to the evolving dynamic of Fortnite over the last couple of years. The game is evolving into something that a lot of us didn't sign up for, and if you don't like that, it's okay. But it's also okay for Epic to change it into what they want. I don't believe Epic is trying to kill Fortnite, but even if that were the case, that's okay because it's their game and we don't have to play it. At its core, the game is free. But in fairness to all of you, the reason why you're so upset is because you've invested so much time and money into this game, and now you're coming to the realization that Fortnite is something you could never own. I forgot who told me this, but something I heard from someone in the community recently is that unlike other video games, you can't return to your favorite version of Fortnite and play it anytime you want. Although we don't have to spend money on this game, we did. And we have memories playing that we can't go back to and relive at any moment because this is a live service game. This is paradoxically the downfall of live service games, but it's also their greatest strength. Live service games by their nature are constantly evolving and adapting to new trends, but something to keep in mind is that they might adapt away from you. When you really think about it, any long-lasting successful brand does this. Do you think the Superman my grandfather grew up with in the 1940s was the same as the one I grew up with in the early 2000s? No, but there was enough of that intrinsic DNA for both of us to appreciate both versions, while also being able to laugh and bond over the differences. I don't think that Fortnite will ever get rid of BR, but I do think that it's evolving into something different from what it was before. A lot of the old identity has either been altered or completely removed. My hope is that Epic will figure out a way to tie the metaverse more seamlessly around BR and give it more purpose, while also bringing back some of the old elements that make Fortnite just intrinsically more fun. I also think that over time, Epic could return to more consistent live events and better storytelling in Battle Royale. It's just that right now, that's not their priority. Their focus is obtaining a new, bigger audience, and if I'm being honest, that might not be you. That's also why they continue to push all the new modes outside of BR. Not just because they spent a lot of time and money on them, but also because they'll be fun for a new generation of players that don't have nostalgia for the good old days.
I got all the abilities, and I'm very good to sniper. You won? Yes. Look. First place, I won. Look. I won. What? So now you punch.
I don't know if I got a rocket launcher! If you feel like you don't like what Fortnite is becoming, I get that. I felt the same way earlier this week. I was honestly considering transitioning away from Fortnite content because I wasn't sure if I believed in this vision. Heck, that seems to be part of the reason why Donald left. His vision for what he wanted conflicted with Epic's, and that's okay. If you don't like it, you don't have to be a part of it. However, for me, I'm not sure I'm ready to hang up my hat just yet. Do I like all the changes to Fortnite or fully believe in the vision? No, but I understand them, and I realize I don't have to embrace all of them in order to enjoy Fortnite. In spite of a few cringe changes, Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2 is a really good season, and what keeps me going is all of you and the amazing people that I've gotten to meet over the last few years and play with on a consistent basis. However, it probably would be healthy for me to start branching out and playing other games that aren't Fortnite. One day I will stop playing Fortnite, and even if that day isn't soon, it's good just to take a break from it. Sometimes a change is as good as a rest. Plus, it makes me appreciate Fortnite more when I come back to it after playing other games. If you want to see me play other games, make content outside of Fortnite, and ultimately come on this journey with me as a growing content creator, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because regardless of what I'm playing, there is a long journey ahead of us, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon.